live from the HYR Studios, Honda Yamaha Redlands, would like you to go on a local adventure. That means get on your bike and ride, bitch. It's the Big 49 in HD streams. All right, here we are on a Saturday, as usual, for the Moto show, only there is no Motocross or Supercross today.
I don't know. I just reached into the news archives here, Stretch, and I saw some hard-hitting news. I saw this is some serious news, and we really got to get into this.
We got some breaking news?
We got breaking news.
I actually have breaking news, but give me yours before I punch you in the penis.
The fake news?
Okay. Well, my breaking news is the fact that Eli Tomac is going to Stark Varg.
What?
Wrong.
Yeah.
Wrong.
What happened?
Wrong.
Wait a minute.
What? Okay.
Here's the problem.
The other breaking news I heard today, this is also breaking news. I just wanted to give the people this first because you heard it here first.
Yeah. No, you didn't.
Ithaca's going out of business.
No, you didn't.
What?
Wrong.
No more
Wrong.
Jonies?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, third of all, it's April Fool's, you jackass.
Oh, wow.
Don't believe a stupid thing you see on the internet. I hate April Fools. Remember, when you've been in radio 900 years like me, you've done all these stupid April Fool's pranks, so you know, and I just stay away from them like, my God, I hate them.
What do you mean it's not real? I saw Eli Tomac wearing a Kawasaki hat
On a Varg.
with a Varg on the website thingy.
Well, you know what's real is that Eli Tomac is apparently holding up the entire industry right now for real. For not signing his deal if he's going to race next year.
Yep.
So he's going to race outdoor, and then he's going to race the Super Friends of Motocross playoff season. But he's not signed past that. He's possibly going to retire, but everyone's waiting to see. If Eli stays at Yamaha, fine. But if not, there's an opening at Yamaha. So everyone's kind of waiting before anyone makes their move. And we all know they make their moves way before the deadline. It's already set up.
Yeah, well, I'm just saying the money, everybody follows the money. So wherever
and Eli's the money.
Eli's the money because he's the winner. And, Cooper's trying to get some of that dough, but I just don't think that he's got what it takes right now to beat Eli this season.
I don't think he's on. I think one of the things that we're seeing Coop so fired up right now and having such a dominant Supercross season, I think he feels a little disrespected by them with the rumors out there that Chase is going to KTM. And he may be bouncing. He's on a contract year himself, so Coop's looking to sign somewhere else.
I did see some super secret coverage this week with Cooper Webb because he is not an April Fool training down at the He was down at the brand new because KTM Husqvarna Gas opened up their brand new $53 million facility down in Temecula.
It is beautiful, man. It is like fine dining, It's like you need to wear a suit to walk in the door. It's so nice.
It's so nice, and they put a motocross track in the back of it.
I can't believe anyone in the industry moved to California.
Yeah, well,
it's pretty wild.
It's weird they built it there.
Well, here's the funny thing about it. They were actually contemplating going out of state. They were contemplating going to Florida or to Arizona, or it was Arizona, Florida, or Texas.
Arizona's just too inclement weather. There's no way to do it in Arizona, so you need a place with year-round weather. It'd have to be California or Florida.
The argument that they made for it is they said, we are so based, we have so much resource already here. The cost of us leaving California right now, it's cost prohibitive.
Yeah.
So they just said, we're going to stay put right where we are as a company and do what we're going to do. Because in all seriousness, they are a European company. They're not really a California company.
Hey, and if they're smart, they'll dump a ton of money into the elections to try to get the Democrats thrown out of office so that everyone doing business in this state can do it more efficiently and cheaper.
Yeah. You're not kidding. But here's the hard-hitting news that I did want to give people.
DeCoster for governor.
Is this real?
Let's get the emperor for governor.
That was real. That nobody paid attention to. Okay, that I just wanted to super secret put in the radar. This week, Cooper Webb was down at the KTM test track at the new KTM facility.
Also at Fox.
Yeah. He wasn't riding a KTM.
I did not see that.
Was he riding?
A gas.
Really?
No way.
Yep.
Wow.
I saw tons of pictures of him on his KTM when he was out at Fox.
At Fox, he was on a KTM, but when he was at the KTM test track, He was next to Pierce Brown, and he was riding a gas.
Really?
Do you think
Testing
they just
starts.
had one and he was just screwing around with it? Because they'll
It
do
was,
that.
It was number 2'd out the wazoo. It was all set up with all of his sponsors and
Numbered and
logos,
sponsored and everything.
everything on it, and it was Cooper Webb, and it was a gas. And nobody said a word about it, and they kind of just let it slip under the radar, and you could see him and Pierce next to each other doing starts down at the KTM
I saw
track.
that video. I didn't even pay attention.
He was on a gas.
Wow.
And that
Coop's putting in time, by the way. He is working this week.
He's really working this week. So I'm here to say that there could be some grumblings going on in that world. If you really wanted to start a real rumor in the rumor mill, that's one that I think could actually have some legs behind it.
But let's look. No, I'm looking at it right now. He's on a KTM. He's sitting right next to Pierce Brown, and he's on his KTM. I'm looking at the social media post. He's clearly on a.
Are you sure?
It's 1,000%. It is orange. There's no orange gas.
Moto, are you pulling a joke, Moto?
No, I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm not pulling a joke on that. And
They're in the
that's why-
gate, and Coop smoked him coming out of the gate.
How
No,
would
Coop
KTM
totally
let
smoked
him on a gas in their own place, though? Why
Granted,
would
one's
they
a
do
450, one's a 250.
One's
but
a 450, one's a 250, and the fact that they are still trying to keep that brand going.
yeah,
And
it's
they haven't
interesting.
signed any deals. There is no grumblings about Barsha yet. There's no grumblings
that's
about
the,
Mosman.
Eli.
There's
That's
no
the Eli
grumblings
deal.
about Pierce. There's no grumblings about anybody right now.
Not even Coop.
Not
There's
even Coop.
nothing.
There's nothing.
No one's talking about anything. And what's going on with Mookie? Is he under contract here or is he cool?
He
Because
is.
they just signed him. It was his first year on Husky.
He's still in.
Yeah, he's still
All right.
in. I think he signed like a 2-year deal.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. Because, man, they got just about their whole camp and all freaking brands up for grabs right now.
By the way, the Motor Show today brought to you by our good friends at Kettle Chips and our good friends at Ghost Energy and our good friends at, let me see here, we got Neutral and,
Those are good.
Oh, I
Moto.
like the
Yeah.
signs. The signs in the studio look good.
yeah, not
Got
to,
to
men-
check that out, you guys.
yeah, not to mention our other good friends over at LBZ. So,
All right, do you want some real
And
news
H-Wire.
now?
I'm eating real news right now. Here's some Kettle Chips
where's-
right now.
Yeah, don't eat on the microphone.
Jalapenos, they're great.
Don't eat on the microphone.
Where's our friend from HYR? Where's he at?
He found out Moto's been holding out on the chips and he's boycotting. That's what he heard.
Oh,
Yeah.
You think so?
He's got free hot dogs down at the shop right now.
Oh, does he?
Here is real news, and this is good, awesome, and I'm happy on all fronts for this. Next weekend, we will be out at the Two-Stroke Nationals at Glen Helen. They just announced today that they are going to live stream that entire thing on Motocross Action Magazine's YouTube channel.
Oh, very
So you're
cool.
going to be able to watch it, which is cool because I love Motocross Action Magazine. I love
Nice.
Glen Helen. And for us, it's cool because we're down on like Vendor Row and we can't see crap where we are. We'll be able to watch it as we're talking about it, and that's just going to be
Beautiful.
awesome.
Hell
Very
yeah.
cool.
Nice.
Yeah, live stream's going to start at 12:30 p.m. On next Saturday. So very, very cool.
Sweet deal.
Very cool. Very cool.
Yeah, I'm digging that. And I just hope that even if they don't have it, great coverage, it's still going to be some coverage, and it's really going to help us from where we are down on Vendor Row.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
okay, so here's some other information about us being out there on Vendor Row. Okay? I put in our request, what was it, 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago?
Yeah.
Something like that, 4 weeks ago, with Lori out at Glen Helen to put in our Vendor Row request.
Yeah.
I have not heard back on a verification. So
Uh-oh.
I don't know if we're going to be on Vendor Row. I don't know if we're going to be out in the hinterlands, in the dirt.
the boondocks. They've had us out at the back of the back before.
Yeah, I don't know where we're going to be at, to be really super honest with you. So this week, my number one job is to find out where we're going to be.
All right, that's easy. We'll be there.
But we will be there. We
yeah.
will be
We'll
there
tell you where.
broadcasting live. I just don't know where we are going to be and how that capacity is
the
going to work
penitentiary
out.
next door.
And now we're going to watch it, by the way, too,
Yeah.
while we're there. So
So
that's
we can
gonna
watch
be
it
cool.
too. So it'll be interesting to see how they actually work that whole situation out as well.
Nice.
All right, here's something from last week's race that we have not talked about that I want to get the opinion of you numbnutses on as well.
Which numbnuts? Numbnuts number
All of
one or
you.
numbnuts number two?
Number 1, 2, and 3 if 3 shows up.
Okay, got it.
Where is 3?
How in the F did Kevin Moranz get not one but 2 hole shots last weekend on a butt stock motorcycle off the showroom floor.
Oh, well, that's a given when you know that in the 450 division, you don't need a tricked out bike. You just don't.
Just a straight drag race, and it was a nice long one. But he got the whole shot in the heat race, and then he got the whole shot in the main event, which is impressive as hell for a privateer.
You don't need a fully tricked out bike in Supercross. You just don't.
But
we've
when
talked
you
about
have
this.
one, I understand that for the rhythm sections. I understand that for the riding, you don't need all that. But in a straight drag race, to me, the tricked out bike's going to win in a straight drag race, and that's what the starting gate is.
It depends on the gearing, okay? So in outdoor motocross, you are 150,000 gazillion percent correct, okay? But in Supercross, they gear these bikes so down, okay? They gear them way, way down just so they can have
all the bottom end.
They don't need speed.
They don't need top.
They don't need top end. They
all.
just need a little bottom end, some grunt, so they can keep them high enough in the gears because they like to be third and fourth gear. But in order to be third and fourth gear, because that way you're not shifting throughout your entire race, you're pretty much running one gear on the entire track. In order to do that, you've got to be able to gear it way down. So if you bring a stock 450 out on the track, you're going to have so much more
Which is a privateer machine.
Yeah, you're going to have so much more top end because they gear these bikes down not only at the rear sprocket and at the front sprocket, but they also put different transmission clusters in them as well. So they're a little wider ratio. They're not closed ratio transmissions. That's the other misnomer that a lot of people think is, well, it's a race bike. They got to have a closed ratio transmission in it. No, not necessarily. What they'll do is they may take a closed ratio first gear, and they may put a wide ratio second and a wide ratio third, and then they may put a closed ratio fourth and fifth in the bike. And what that's going to give you with that wide ratio mid inside that case, that's going to give you a lot more longevity on the track. You're not shifting as much. You're just basically running around, and they all have Henson or Recluse clutches, so they're not even using the clutch half the time.
No.
They don't need to.
Yeah.
So all that being said, a stock bike against that definitely can win in a straight ahead drag race, especially when all you're doing is drag racing over about a 75-yard field.
Yeah.
At the same,
and that's about what it is, about a 75-yard. And that was a long one in Seattle because it was a football field, so they had a good long straightaway.
Yeah. At the same time, with a bone stock bike against a race bike on an outdoor track, completely different. Those transmission clusters are way different on the outdoor. The bike is pretty much a completely different bike from the transmission, suspension, gearing. Everything is different on an outdoor track because they're moving fast. I mean, they're going probably 65, 70 miles an hour in some straightaways on those bigger, longer mile and a half tracks.
They're flying on those outdoor
flying.
tracks. Yeah.
Whereas in a Supercross track, I mean, what, top speeds,
48 maybe?
Maybe 48 miles an hour.
And that's in that long straightaway. Maybe 40.
Maybe. Yeah. I mean, somewhere if you can get it that fast and then you have to decelerate and hit a corner down to zero again, and then you're back up to maybe, a 20-mile-an-hour pace for the most part
for
through
the
rhythm sections
just
and all that.
Pop, 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 pop. And then you might come out of a turn and really get in it to get some big air on somewhere where you got to do a big, gap jump.
Yeah.
But that's about it.
They're not going super fast. They just need the broadness of that bottom end, and they need the torque. And that's where the 450s do shine on the Supercross track because they do have all that displacement. They have the torque. You're going to hit just about any obstacle you want. You just goose it. And if you listen to the bike as they're going by, they're not twisting. They're just burp, burp, burp. They're just they're low RPM. They're just literally hitting them in the torque curve, hitting it the torque curve. The whole thing is about the torque curve. And when they dyno those bikes, they even build the engines for the torque. They're not, if you notice something key about this, and I used to I still do pay a lot of attention to this kind of crap, but if you pay attention to the exhausts, okay, there is two different styles of exhaust. If you look at the older Suzukis and even some of the older KTMs, you'll notice they have what we call a top-end exhaust. In other words, it's an exhaust that's tuned to get you that top-end power. It's a very short exhaust. It comes out of the head, does a quick wrap around at a horizontal angle, tucks right back into the frame, and evacuates.
Like your penis when you're wearing a dress?
Kind of like that. Yeah. Exactly. So it's a very quick,
the shot.
There's the first one.
Then there's another style exhaust that now you're going to pay attention to on the newer KTMs and the Hondas and the newer bikes, even the Cowies. Everybody's gone to this style of exhaust, which is what we would call a classic enduro exhaust, which is built for torque. It's built for wide ratio. And what it does is it comes out of the head, and instead of coming as a quick wraparound, it does this long dip. And what it's doing is it's building length in the exhaust, and that's building some back pressure, and that back pressure provides the motor with better torque ratio.
It's like a snake. It just wraps all around.
Yeah, and it comes down and comes up. And what it's trying to do is they're building some back pressure in there, because on your enduro-style bikes, like a off-road typical bike, like an X-style bike, those bikes need the torque, and you'll notice that they've geared all of the Supercross bikes for that torque, and that's what they're wanting. So the difference between a Supercross bike and outdoor dirt bike or like a regular just trail bike, the biggest difference is that the flywheel on the crank itself on a race bike, on a Supercross bike. Not to be
confused with the Fly Girls.
Not to be confused with that.
Yeah.
The flywheel on a Supercross bike is only about 7.5, 8 ounces. That's so they can get that initial hit right from the line. It's like instant power. Bam! It comes on like a switch. Okay? Yeah. But then they put that torque exhaust like you would put on a trail bike on the output of it, and that's going to give you more low-end power. It's going to give you more torque. It's going to give you more low energy. And so it's a blend of those two. And that's how they're doing the Supercross bikes. If you go to the race bikes on the outdoor motocross, pay attention to those exhausts. You'll notice they're not dipping down anymore.
Right.
What they're doing is they're wrapping straight around and coming straight out the back.
Quickest exit.
The quickest
exit.
Speaking of horsepower and torque and all of that, there is a great article today from Dirt Bike Magazine. They basically went and got a 450 of every brand, and they took them over to Pro Circuit and put them on the dyno machine.
Yep.
So what do you think? Give me some predictions. Granted, they're all so close, but what's weird is the ones you think aren't the ones that are kicking out the most horsepower.
No.
The most torque.
I'm going to think that the most horsepower is probably coming out of the KTM.
Overall, correct. You would be correct in that. They win, but just barely at the very, but what's weird is not all the way through. At 9,000 RPM is where they're up above everyone.
Yeah.
Honda's taking it from 5,000 up to right around 7,000. Honda's clearly above everyone else. And then they all bunch up, and then KTM and Husqvarna pull away at the really high RPM.
Yep, that is correct.
The dyno machines. And obviously KTM and Husqvarna are the same motorcycle, really. So they're pretty much neck and neck. What's weird is Gas doesn't hang with the KTM and the Husqvarna.
Really?
No, it's not even close. In fact, the Gas is down there with the Kawasaki.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, and Yamaha, which we always hear is such a fast bike, is never at any point providing the most horsepower and torque ever, at least factory off the showroom floor.
It's right in the middle.
It stays in the middle, and then when they get to the high end, it's in the middle of the pack. And when they're in the middle, when they first start, it's at the very bottom. In fact, even Suzuki is ahead of them from 4,000 to 6,000 RPM. Yamaha is dead last, and then they catch up to the pack, but never are at any point do they lead the pack.
Wasn't Yamaha's biggest quality though when we were talking to Ferrandis? Basically, the handling. Wasn't that what he was kind of saying?
Well, there's two things about the Yamaha that
he said it was too powerful.
That was great.
Oh, did he? Okay, I thought he said something about the handling being great too.
What they changed about the Yamaha, and this is where he did say this. He said
made it suck.
No, he said that the year before Okay, the first year or the second year they came out
22.
because Yamaha did something different that everybody else didn't do, and that is they inverted where the exhaust and where the intake are coming at. So on a Yamaha, your intake's actually coming from the front of the motorcycle,
right,
and your exhaust is actually coming from the rear of the motorcycle. And so what they do is they wrap the entire pipe. Remember when I was saying about that torque curve? Okay, the Yamaha figured this out by wrapping the entire pipe around the entire head and then coming back out. So it does almost 360 degrees of rotation to get the exhaust out of the engine.
Gotcha.
Okay?
Yeah.
They did this by shooting the intake is a lot shorter and a lot more vertical, and that's why the air box on the Yamaha is literally directly above the engine case.
Okay.
That's how they're making all of this kind of happen.
Gotcha.
That's where Yamaha shined, because what they did in the initial, when they designed this motor, is it did outperform everybody. It outperformed everybody at every level.
Well, a couple years ago, you didn't even see the pipe.
Not
it was
now.
just straight out the back of the motor.
Yeah.
You couldn't even see the head pipe.
The problem was they had to widen the bike to design this.
Okay.
So when everybody's been narrowing and lowering,
Sharpening that pencil.
and sharpening that pencil and getting it lower and lower and lower and narrower, Yamaha went wider and slightly a little heavier just because they had to with their ergonomics.
And they fixed that this year.
They fixed it this year. They narrowed the bike, and that's what Dylan was talking about. And because they narrowed it, they had to detune it a little bit. And for Supercross, that is what Dylan was talking about. He loves the fact that you don't need all of that power.
Yeah.
And you don't on a Supercross.
I mean,
ride.
talk to Ryan Hughes. He's going to tell you
Oh.
a 350 would do just as good on the track as a 450 in Supercross.
Yeah.
Wow. Speaking of Ryan Hughes, I'm not even going to name who it was, but somebody went online yesterday and just trashed Rhino.
Really?
Just trashed him, that he's a goon and he has no idea what he's talking. And they did a whole video on it, and it was just to get clicks.
Not to name any names, but is this name like someone we would know?
No, it's some moto dude who's saying Rhino preaches against knee braces and he's an idiot and he doesn't know what he's talking about, and you're faster with knee brace, and he does this whole freaking thing and he just rips Rhino apart. And I was like,
I'm sorry, I'll side with Rhino.
Yeah, I was going to
I'll
say,
listen to Rhino.
He tends to know a little bit.
when you talk to Ryan, you realize something very clear about him, and that is that he comes back always to good old-fashioned hard work and holistic training.
Correct.
And he's a very fundamental dude.
Very
Remember, he's like, you got to go slow to go fast. He always tells us that.
Absolutely.
Yeah. He's very fundamental in his thought process. So it's really hard to pick him apart. When you start, bringing in, technology and all of this other stuff to try to advance a rider's ability to become a better rider, you can't argue with Ryan on that. You just can't, because he's going to break you apart just for the fact that, well, you've got to be a better rider in order to be a better rider.
Right.
You just have to be better.
But Rhino's the type,
Yeah.
he's not going to go looking for this dude. He'll just be like, okay,
But
whatever. If that's what you want to believe, go ahead.
You know what's funny?
know?
Rhino
Which I
is
love
always
about him.
He preaches posture. I was thinking about that, about your hips and your back and your knees and all that stuff. And I saw a video that he did where he would, and we always see his videos. That's his main thing is rider position, hip position, the way your back is, and then he had a video of Eli Tomac doing exactly what he says and blowing everybody away out of the starting gate. And he was like, look who's the only guy with his hips right, his back right, everything right. It's Eli. And then Eli just tore everyone up out of the start on that race. And he's exactly right.
There you go.
He really is. It's all about fundamental and body position and all that.
It's balance.
Yeah.
It's a balance game. It's where I say in Supercross, the game of Supercross is all about rhythm and timing. If you've got the rhythm and you've got the timing and you've got a strong rhythm and really good timing, you will win the race.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, do you know what I noticed in that Kevin Moran's video of him getting the whole shot? He's got that same what I noticed that Rhino preaches on. So the hips are way back, but their back is arched, almost like yoga pose, like you're doing downward dog.
Yep.
You know how your like hips are down and then your back is arched all the way up.
Yep.
That's the position. And when their back is arched the other way, like they're hunched over the bars, they never get the whole shot.
No.
Nope.
It's the hips back with the back really, really arched, and then and then the knees and everything in the right position, which put him on the pegs. But it's exactly that position, and I noticed Moran's had that same posture when he got both those hole shots.
Yeah.
Well, it's all about getting the right form in order to win the race, and he's really good at that. And it comes back down to practice. And if you practice this, you will be better. Now, let's talk about this for just a second with Eli Tomac in his 2 crashes that he has had this year.
Very un-Eli.
Very un-Eli. Both of them, he was off his rhythm. He went too fast, not good timing, horrible timing.
He was working against the bike.
Well, he also got outside
track.
because, was it Cooper he was about to land on? Somebody, he jumped and he didn't have enough room, and he went wide to the left and hit a tough block at one point.
Yeah.
Exactly. But you notice what he was trying to do when he hit that tough block is he was trying to make a run for it, and he was going too fast and lost his rhythm.
Yeah.
Had he kept his rhythm, like there's times when you look at Eli and he'll go, that's a triple, and he'll quad it.
Yeah.
But that's because he's got it in the rhythm. He's already figured out the line. He's figured out his rhythm. He knows the timing.
He's effing Eli.
Yeah.
He's Eli, but he's also very calculated. You notice he doesn't make off risks. He doesn't take ballsy risks.
No.
He makes very smart decisions when he's racing.
It was like in San Diego. I mean, you saw it. We've talked about it. His feet were flying off the pegs over the Razorback.
Yeah.
That's not Eli.
No.
I mean, that's not
Barsha.
him.
That's Barsha.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's Barsha's style.
Correct.
And Barsha, by the way, out of everybody who has probably some of the most reckless form out of everybody on the track.
And when you ask about it, he's always like, I was never scared. I was totally under control. You're like,
cool.
It didn't look like it.
Barsha's on the bitter edge. And I will say this. When Michael Mosman went from Husqvarna over to Gas, and he started training with Will, who is Barsha's
who is now retired
trainer.
Yeah.
When he started training with Will, you noticed his style completely changed, and that's when Michael started winning races.
Yeah.
He also, you saw Michael with feet coming off the pegs and doing a lot of Justin Barsha wide open gas dirty passing too.
Oh, totally.
Michael got way more aggressive when he got around Barsha.
I love when Barsha does good, though, dude. He makes the podium because he comes in like Tommy Boy. Oh, what a wild ride, man. That was awesome. Everything was under control. Hair's all blown back.
I love Barsha.
Was it under control?
And you'll say,
Everything's cool, man.
So there was that part where you were in the air and both your feet were off the pegs and you were kind of doing a Superman. Was that intentional?
It's all rhythm, dude.
Yeah, I was fine. I don't know what you're talking about. I was totally under control. You're like, really? Because you were off the bike completely at one point.
There's another rider, by the way, that's just like that, and you've got to give him props, and that would be Jason Anderson.
Yeah.
Jason,
Those two are so alike. It's scary.
it
was a lot like Bubba was. Same way.
Rides just at the bitter edge of insanity.
Yeah.
And you go, this is not a good calculated decision.
Right.
Now,
It was weird. They rode together this week. They were all out at Fox Raceway, and the entire KTM gas lineup was out there, as well as the entire Pro Circuit camp was out there, and they were putting in outdoor laps together. And I was like, dude, those guys, I don't think like each other.
I saw them actually at another track, which I will not mention because I'm not going to give them free advertisement. Because, well,
I know which one this is.
They're a bunch of you-know-what.
Okay.
But they were actually out at that track doing hole shots with each other, and I watched them over there. I saw some of the video of it.
It shows you these guys all have a mutual respect for each other, and they really only get at each other's throats when there's cash on the line, which is when they're doing their job.
Right.
Yeah, well, it's money. Money drives all of this.
That's right.
This is all about money. I mean, it's you went to this morning, by the way, Stretch. You went to the Alpine Stars open house.
By the way, I was so bummed. I went
Really?
to the Alpine Stars open house at their world headquarters in Torrance this morning, and it was really cool that they had a lot of Alpine Stars stuff out, and they had like some car clubs in the parking lot with some real cool cars, and then they had like an Indy car there. They had a crap load of street bikes. They had not one dirt bike, nothing dirt bike related, not a single dirt bike, anything out in that parking lot. There was nothing out there. I was like, dude, not even a bike? And there was, probably 10 street bikes, like race street bikes out there. And there was all the cars and all the stuff and off-road trucks and off-road like buggies and not a single dirt bike. I was bummed about that.
That is kind of
That just
depressing.
doesn't seem
Yeah,
right.
it's because that's a big chunk of the market. I thought Alpine
Yeah,
Stars.
God, yes.
Well, I think their bread and butter would be motocross, motorcycle boots,
Whoa.
No,
motorcycle
it's street
apparel.
bikes. It's street
Yeah.
bikes. It's street bike gear. It's jackets and all that gear for street bikes. It really is.
Well, I mean,
Well, they should
that's
at
what I
least
think.
acknowledge the motocross scene.
Because
I'm
there's
sorry.
so many more street bikes on the road than there are dirt bikes in the dirt.
Well,
if you
that's
think about it,
true.
do the math.
That's true.
I
But
have
still.
a brand new pair of Tech 10s in my bedroom, so screw them.
I got a Tech 9.
They're
man.
actually their boots are really good boots.
They last forever.
No, they've got great
They do.
gear, and I was like, cool. They're doing an open house. It's not far from my house. I'm going. So I drove out there, and it was cool. I was glad to see it, and I saw some cool stuff. I put some stuff up on the Instagram, but you won't see a dirt bike in that thing. Not a single one. It was weird.
That's
Wow.
strange. That
Yeah.
is-
And when you got guys like Chase Sexton and Eli Tomac pretty much
Yeah,
promoting
exactly.
their gear,
Yeah.
Except the best of the best.
the best of the best, you would think that there would be a little bit of love towards the motocross industry.
Hello.
Yeah, and there was nada. And what's weird is they also had a lot of the leather outfits and stuff that the street bike riders wear, and they even had some racing suits from the car drivers.
Yeah.
Nothing. And they have moto set up. And what's cool that I always like about all the moto apparel is they all change for every single race. You've got tons of moto gear and not even a jersey, not a hat, nothing.
Nothing. Well, that
for
sucks.
dirt bikes. It was weird. I was like, dude, maybe this is a street bike thing. Is it an open house for that? Is it a separate thing? I couldn't figure it out. But
No,
yeah,
it's
not
Alpine
a
Stars.
thing.
It's Alpine Stars.
Yeah, so it was weird, but I mean, I still saw some cool stuff, and I put some stuff up there, and I like all things that go fast, so I liked everything. I was just bummed.
I've got breaking news. Breaking news.
I'm
Remember,
gonna
ladies and
have
gentlemen.
have Kyle punch you in the nuts if this is another dumbass April Fool's joke. God.
Breaking news. Breaking news.
Got the knuckles ready.
The AMA has sanctioned tricycle racing in Supercross. So
Kyle, punch him. Punch him, Kyle. Go right under the counter and just punch him. And say, Moto, I hate to do this, but Stretch, this is from Stretch. And just
Shut up,
punch him
Moto.
in the nuts. Smack.
Don't hurt the messenger.
Oh,
Don't kick
man.
me.
what? That's not real.
Oh, my
That's-
God.
That's not real.
That'd be cool.
Nothing's real.
Would be
Okay,
cool, actually.
I have something real. I'm going to play a
ATCs?
little game for you right now.
Okay.
I'm going to mention riders.
Okay.
And then you tell me where they are this week, what they're doing. Okay?
Okay.
Justin Barsha.
I'm gonna say Justin Barsha is in New York, hanging out with his kid.
No, he's actually in L.A. and has been putting in lots of track time doing outdoor. So
Really?
Barsha's here in L.A., yeah. As a matter of fact, still in L.A. this morning because I saw a post from him at a hotel in Los Angeles. So he's actually in L.A., not even out in the Inland Empire.
Then he must be hanging out with Ken Roxon.
Yeah. Let's look at Cooper Webb. Where's
Cooper Webb
this week?
is in the IE.
Yes.
He's out at Temecula.
And he's living in it. He's going to all the tracks out there, and Coop is putting in work.
Yep.
Okay. Jason Anderson.
IE. He has been out at
He's,
my least favorite motocross track of all time, putting in some time.
Oh, I thought he was
'Cause
out.
They booked the track.
I thought he was out shanking somebody.
No, no.
Now, any guy from HRC Honda, I don't care who it is.
HRC Honda also at the whatchamacallit, Chrome.
Championship this year because last year he didn't get a chance to.
Correct.
So they're going to have two outdoor champions side by side when it comes to him and Eli, and that's
that'll
going to
be
be
fun.
cool.
That'll be fun at Paula.
Yeah, that's
Kick
going to be
that
badass. Also, we get screwed at Paula with only one round this year, and it's
Yeah.
opening round.
That
but,
part bums me out, by the way.
But we get the championship round of the playoffs, and it's here in downtown LA.
Yeah.
You can't beat that.
True. And the fact that we have a little bit of a home team advantage with that. At the same time, Paula is that second round of Paula. I really look forward to. I like that race because it's kind of like
If it matters, because it doesn't always matter.
Yeah.
it buttons up the season. It tightens everything up, and it's usually more applicable than Hangtown. Okay,
Yeah.
in other words, Hangtown, that last race that they usually wind up finishing up at Sacramento is usually cut. it's customary. It's kind of like watching in the NFL the All-Star, game.
Yeah.
You got
Yeah.
nobody ever plays the All-Star game.
The Pro Bowl.
The Pro Bowl.
Yeah.
Nobody ever plays
Yeah.
that game.
Well, now
No.
it's flag football. Did
It
you know
is.
they did that this year?
Yeah. And the
They
funny
changed
thing
the
is,
Pro Bowl to flag football.
they hit harder than that than their normal Pro Bowl game.
Yeah, I was like, no, thank you. Not why. I'm done.
Well, the Pro Bowl never has any viewership
No.
because
Yeah.
you're not going
It was
to.
always airing it out, and there's a lot of scoring, and it's
It's
been okay to
stupid.
watch, but
Yeah, they're not going to play to their purest potential because they're not going to risk anything. It's just like in Supercross. You're not going to see Eli take, really, really risky passes. It's
No.
not his style.
No.
Now,
what about Barsha?
Barsha
Don't ride next to Barsha.
or Jed Lawrence
kid
could
is
be a
survival.
completely different story.
I think Jet's accidental in that situation.
But I will say that Jet has gotten way smarter in the
Yeah.
past couple years about his passes and his aggressiveness and how he rides. He's becoming more calculated.
Mm-hmm.
He's figured out how to actually watch the race and be in the race at the same time.
Right.
Yeah.
So
You know what I haven't heard any rumors of? Remember last year, KTM was all the hubbubaloo about they were trying to get Jeffrey Earlings over here, but he never recovered from the injury in time. And they were going to have him race outdoor, and then they got Caroli to come over. There's none of that jockeying going on this year about outdoor. I'm not hearing
I
that.
think they just spent $53 million building a building in Temecula.
God.
There's not going to be a lot of jockeying going on.
Yeah, sorry, we can't afford to fly you and your family back and forth.
Can't afford anything right now. We just built a $53 million building.
KTMs are going to be way more expensive
in
than
the
they already
Inland
are.
Empire. I mean,
Wow.
I really would like to go through that building, though. Just
We
to
didn't
see
get
it.
invited. Did you notice that?
I noticed
The
we did
entire
not get
Moto
invited.
media was there and not us, and I blamed Roger DeCoster and you.
Thank you. I'm glad you blamed me for
I blame
it.
you for accosting Roger and trying to talk to him, and now he went back and said, "Whatever you do, put the big 49 on the no list. They are naughty."
You're with the radio, huh? That's what he said to you at that time.
That's what he
Yeah,
said.
he knew who I was. He knew who I
Yeah,
was.
and he put you on the banned list after that because we did not get invited to the open house where everybody was wearing suits and drinking champagne and stuff.
Damn it.
Champagne? Could
Yeah.
you just imagine? All right, let's just be honest with ourselves, okay? Let's just be really honest with ourselves.
Have we ever?
I could drink
first of all-
champagne in a suit. Screw you.
Hell yeah.
Let's be really honest with
Spilled all over
ourselves,
myself.
okay? Let's put it all on the line here
You
for a
gotta
second.
fight for your right.
Could you just imagine? We get this formal invitation
Oh,
with
dear.
all the little bells and whistles all over it saying you're cordially invited to
Yeah.
our open house, blah, blah, blah,
Yeah.
blah, 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 blah.
I would walk up to Roger and I would say, "Excuse me, sir. Do you have any Grey Poupon?"
Yeah.
And just could you imagine us knuckle draggers showing up in some level of suit and tie at this event? I mean,
Kyle's double
Dude.
fist in champagne.
Oh God, yes.
Yeah,
I'd be in one. I'd be
glasses.
in one of Mike's, LBZ
We're
pimp
like,
suits.
oh, boy, here we
Kyle's
go.
wearing a half pimp suit
From LBZ, one of Mike's.
Yes, in shorts.
Yes.
Okay.
And flip flops.
And flip flops. Okay.
Going Rodney
Get the-
Dangerfield on
thrown
everybody.
Stretch is coming in with literally like food stains coming down the front, with
wrong
like
with that?
chicken wing stains in the middle of his suit.
I'm standing at the buffet just waiting for them to
Where's
restock it.
Where's the chicken and waffles that we had at A1?
Yeah.
Hey Moto, this is some bull crap, man. I can't eat this crap. What is this shit?
Moto, there's salad over here. What the hell is this foie gras? What the hell is that?
I don't eat this crap.
Fish eggs. Who eats fish eggs?
Yeah. Then you got Jason showing up, and he's gonna show up, and he's just gonna be like, "Yo,
My friends are
I got a
idiots.
Honda shirt on, a Honda hat.
I just wore my HYR shirt here, and I
is
didn't know
cool.
that this was gonna be like formal like that, dude. I mean, this isn't cool. We don't. We sell Husky, but we don't sell. No, dude. No. I'll be out in the truck, dude.
And sorry about my friends.
Sorry about my friends. I'll be out in the truck.
And then Moto's chasing Roger DeCosta around. Roger, I have a question for you. Back in 1973, when you were doing this, what kind of clutch were you running in your...
Exactly.
The security's just throwing us out.
There
Like,
is-
oh,
we're
God,
done.
here we go.
There is
so
a
done.
reason why they don't invite us to these things, and I am perfectly fine with it.
It's hurtful.
I do find it funny, though.
I feel shunned, and when I feel shunned, I lash out at people, and it's going to happen. Just letting you know.
Here's the one that I find fascinating, is when Dawn over at Vital or Mattis puts on a suit to go to those events. I find that kind of hilarious.
It is.
I find that
totally is.
And completely disingenuous.
Right.
Because these are people that literally, when they put on their suit, there's dust on it.
Right. They don't even know how to put it on.
You're like, hey, did that suit used to fit you when you bought it 30 years ago?
Yeah.
You know, I know that Josh has a suit over at Motocross Action. I know
I have like 5 suits. I have to wear a suit to one of my jobs.
Oh, gee whiz.
Yeah, I have a bunch of suits.
How many of them?
At least once
All right,
a week.
Be honest with us. We're having honest moments here, and we're kind of not in the safe space, but it's okay.
That's the first.
Okay. How many of your suits have chicken wing stains on them?
None, because as soon as I wear a suit there, I take the jacket off, I hang it up, and I'm just wearing a shirt at that point. I'm not wearing a shirt and tie.
How many of your suits have pizza stains on them?
Yeah, I'm telling you, I don't wear them long enough. They're on and off. I don't get to go to lunch either because I'm in a really bad neighborhood and there's really nothing around there, and I only get 30 minutes, so I bring my lunch.
Stretch has a secret sponsor.
Yeah.
How many of your
no
suits
fun.
smell like diarrhea because you give a little oops?
Oh, that's all
gambled
of them.
and lost.
That's my car seat and everything.
Stretch has a secret sponsor from Spray and Wash.
By the way, I farted so hard in my sleep last night it woke me up.
You fall out of bed?
I'm not kidding. I was like, whoa, what was that? That was like, who was shaking the bed? I was like, oh, man. Oh, God, it smells like ass in here. I tried to blame Sarge.
I was going to say,
like,
Sarge got up and left the room.
Sarge is like, dude.
Sarge went outside.
Dude, at one point, Sarge was sitting next to me last night, and Sarge doesn't bark or do anything. He sits down next to you and taps you with his paw.
Yep.
And what's weird is he didn't want to go outside. And I'm like, what's up, Sarge? I think he was like, hey, dude, you're killing me. Like, knock it off.
And you're
burning my nose.
Sharted yourself.
Yeah, oh, my God. The whole room smelled like ass. I had to open the windows and air it out afterwards. It was a rough night. I woke myself up. Like, oh, God, what was that?
Man, you know it's bad when you offend yourself.
Oh, yeah, isn't it bad when you're like, man, that came out of me? Damn.
That's my point in all of this. Thank you very much for...
See, but I would do a smoke screen. A smoke screen is a silent but deadly. When you get in the buffet line and you just let a smoke screen, you let it go, and you just slowly let it out, and then you walk out of line real quick and go like to the bathroom, and then people start blaming each other in the line.
Watch the reactions.
Oh, God, it's the best to drop a smoke screen.
See, that's the reason why we weren't invited to the KTM open house right there.
That's content right there.
You know? By the way, you remember that one time I was standing in line at the buffet and I was crop dusting everybody? Yeah, that was funny. Meanwhile, poor Roger DeCoster's in the other room puking.
Everybody blamed Aaron Plessinger. Remember that?
Blamed Aaron Plessinger for sharting his pants.
Poor AP.
By the way, you know what's funny? I actually haven't seen any video of AP. I know he was there. I saw a ton of Cooper there, and Marvin Muscan was back from France, and he was there. That opening.
You know, Marv. Yeah. You do know Marv most of the time lives in Temecula.
Yeah, so he was back in France though, I think, healing, and now he's back here.
Okay, I was just gonna say, most of the time he does live in Temecula.
Oh man.
So
yeah,
excellent. Right on. And as far as the Star Yamaha crew is concerned, have we heard any grumblings of them?
Nothing. But that is they're like the New England Patriots. They're the most tight-lipped, nobody talks, keeping it quiet.
Do you think it's because they're all held with a gun to their head under duress?
I don't know. That's been Eli's style his whole career. I think they're just following the leader at that point.
I was going to say, Eli usually sequesters himself in Cortez, Colorado at his own compound, usually shielded by armed guards.
Dude, Eli is quiet. Did you notice on the Arena Cross was last night? And Cooper Webb did a full-on video commercial for them.
Yep.
Talking about how great it was and how much he watches it.
He's buds with a lot of people. Here's one thing I will say about Cooper
Kyle
Webb.
Peters did the Cooper Webb pow-pow across the finish line last night.
Yep.
That was the coolest thing ever.
I will say this about Cooper Webb, in all sincerity.
I dig Cooper.
He is very, very, very pro the sport. He's very friendly with the people in the sport, and he loves the sport with all his heart. He really does.
And the fans.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's the hardest working mofo in the sport. He really is.
He is a blue-collar, hard-working rider, and I give him credit there in all sincerity. You know, there are some things about Cooper that kind of, oh, gosh, really?
Mm-hmm. That's because you hate Jesus.
I don't hate Jesus.
Yes, you do.
I don't, actually.
You godless heathen.
That's the problem. I don't hate Jesus. I'm Jesus 100%.
He even sound like Esther on Sanford and Son.
Godless heathen right there is what I'm talking to Moto Man.
I'm 150,000% Jesus, and that's why when I go, would Jesus have made that pass like that?
Yes, he would have. You know why? Because Jesus is a winner. You know what Jesus does? Jesus wins.
He wants to go
if
fast.
He doesn't lose, he wins. He goes fast.
He wants to go
He gets
fast.
the whole shot.
That's
He
right.
gets behind the gate, and he goes, slingshot, engage, and then
loves-
wham!
He loves,
And
he loves
shoots
feeling,
it out of there.
He loves feeling that hair flap out from underneath the helmet.
Does he say slingshot engage?
Yeah, I heard Jesus say that. It's in the Bible, Matthew chapter 2, verse 12.
Wow, I did not know that. I'm going to have to go back to my
Right
Bible
there.
study and look at slingshot
Here's what's happening.
engage.
So here's Jesus and the disciples are walking, right? And, and Jesus is talking, and he speaks in parables most of the time. And then all of a sudden, they see some people across the way that need help. And then Jesus looks at them all, and they're all like, hey, we got to walk around the lake. And Jesus goes, slingshot, engage. And bow, he shoots right across the water. He just walks across the water, and it's like, gives the middle finger to the disciples. You guys can't do that. And then he goes over there and helps those people. And like 35 minutes later, the rest of the crew walks up and is like, what happened? He's like, you missed it.
If you see a lightning bolt hit,
I'm just telling you what happens in the Bible. You should read it sometime.
If you see a lightning bolt anywhere hit in the west side of Los Angeles on a beautiful, clear day, it was intended specifically for Stretch. Just to let everybody know that, okay?
Yeah, I'm just telling you. I'm just telling you what I read. I read it last night, as a matter of fact, before I went to bed.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it was in there.
I didn't read that verse. My Bible.
Matthew. It's in Matthew.
Okay,
the book
got
of
it.
Matthew.
I'll have to look at Matthew. I was too busy.
You need to brush up on your Matthew.
I was back at Paul and Joshua, so sorry about that.
It's the newest
There you go.
Testament.
That also might be why you're not the biggest Cooper Webb fan like I am. Coop and I read the same Bible.
Apparently so.
Yeah.
Apparently you guys are in the same Bible all the way around.
Do you
although
remember,
I don't
Kate,
even think Cooper would even back you up on your biblical analogy.
Do you remember when they crucified Jesus and he did the finger gun and pow pow?
Oh, is that?
Yeah. Pontius Pilate, pow pow. Oh, guess where you're going? You guys are screwing up bad. That's what he said.
Is that how that works?
Oh, Judas, that's the biggest mistake you ever made.
Yeah,
that's
no
what he
kisses.
said.
No kisses for you. Pow
Yeah.
pow.
Pow pow, finger gun.
I'm coming back. I'm coming
Jesus
back. I'm
doing
gonna
finger
kick,
guns.
I'm gonna kick your ass when I come back.
Gosh.
Yeah. Enjoy the afterlife.
Hold on here. I need to
The
go
lake
get
of
some.
fire is warm.
I need to go get some holy water real quick here.
Oh, dear.
I think I'm going to get hit by lightning just by being on this show.
Man. Oh man, this stuff's what happens. This Moto right there. It's the Moto Bible.
The Moto. Okay, so it's the Moto Bible.
Yeah.
It's a completely different Bible. I was looking at the one of.
Oh, you're looking at King James. That's a boring read.
Okay, God.
Whereest thou art going to go out the eye. You're
got
like,
it.
what the hell did it say? I read it 4 times and still didn't understand it.
I was missing all the Talladega Nights references.
Yeah. The Moto Bible's totally different.
Okay, got it. All right.
Yeah.
But at
Oh,
the same
man.
time, I have to say he is 150,000% in full support of the sport in every level of the sport, and I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's a good thing. Now, speaking of Marvin Musquin, quietness on his home front.
They're ditching Marv. You know they are.
Is he
Marv's
coming
gone.
back for outdoor or not? And is he going to be going over to gas or at some level of
Remember, they
privateer?
didn't let him race outdoor last year, and Marv's really good at outdoor. They
Marv's
made him,
really good at
they
outdoor.
gave him Supercross only, and then gave his spot to Caroli on that team last year.
That
was
bummed me out.
insulting. That bummed me out too, because Marv's a good guy and he deserves better than that.
I-
I don't think Marv's on that team if he's racing next year, and I don't think he wants to stop racing.
Okay, and where do you see Mookie at next year?
Well, I think we talked to. I think he is locked in.
I think he's still with Husky.
Yeah, he's going to be on Husky. But I don't know about any guy on a gas. That's where are those 3 dudes going to be?
I've heard nothing. I've heard quietness. Actually, the best thing I've heard so far out of the gas crew is let me see here.
Is Barsha's kicking ass? Barsha's
kicking
really
ass.
good. The last 4 rounds, Barsha's been good, and he would have had another podium had Chase Sexton not dirty dogged him at Daytona.
Hold on. This is super secret. I've got this on full detail. This is what I heard from the Gas crew.
Crickets? Yeah, which makes you know something's up.
Yeah. Okay.
When you hear crickets, something's up.
Just let you know.
I thought that was Malcolm fishing.
Oh no, that was us finding out.
Yeah,
what
by
was
the
going
way,
on in the
that's
gas
what Malcolm's doing right now with
Yeah.
his bum knee and everything.
We're going fishing with Malcolm tomorrow, Moto. Let's go fishing with Malcolm tomorrow.
Kyle, want to go fishing?
Yeah, we're going with Malcolm
We're going
tomorrow.
fishing. You want to go fishing?
Yeah.
By the way, what happened to Jason?
I don't know.
I have no
Demon
idea.
got him.
So
The demon ducks.
There's an update for
So
you.
here's some update for
Ducks
you.
got 'em.
I don't know if you heard this yesterday on our show yesterday, but Kyle actually had a visitation from the demon.
I did.
He had a visitation from the demon.
Don't tell me that.
He did. He had a visitation from the
I
demon.
did. I was
My ex-wife or the one from the box?
the box.
The one from the box. Yeah, that's a completely different demon, your
Yeah.
ex-wife.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of demons.
Yeah, there's a lot of demons.
Was
Apparently,
it like a dream?
No.
No.
This is actually in real life. It
Yeah.
was kind of like his testament to seeing this. And apparently, what had happened is that the demon forced him to miss a very important mail meeting.
a package being delivered.
Yeah. And you know how the demon
Because I was listening to you, Stretch,
yeah, I was
on
going
your
the
show, and
mailman
I
screwed you
I
up.
got off early and was listening to you, and they left a tag on my door.
The demon came through. The demon came
Yeah.
through the speaker.
The
Yeah,
demon
dude.
came through exactly. The demon
You know?
used you as its
Wow.
its pathway.
Yeah.
That
In
could
the
happen.
in the
Well,
Kyle's
that
head.
demon doesn't like me. That
I'm just
demon
pointing that out.
Might be a little hot towards me.
Well, he doesn't
That's
like me
my
either. I'm
fear of this
missing.
whole
I'm
thing.
missing mail now.
So what's the plan now? What are we gonna
Okay,
do?
the good news is I think I got a witch that will come and deal with it.
Okay.
The bad news is she wants nothing to do with the previous situation, so she wants us to let it go, and then she's going to come up there and rebag it.
Okay. So we're
Like, but I told
where's
her
this
it's already
happening at?
out, and she goes, "No, what do you mean? Right where it's at? We're going to let it out wherever we are. We'll do it. We're doing this crap on the air.
In the control room?
Why would? Of course we would. It's. I mean, come
Okay.
on.
Well, hold on.
I want to see
What if-
on camera if you could see anything pop out of the box when we
Well,
open it,
my-
because
my-
I think it's in. I still firmly believe it's in there. I do put some credibility
well-
to the fact that we've talked about it so much that we've given it some
What if
some
it,
power and
what
let it
if
stirred.
What if it opens up a kind of a time
Can of whoop
warp?
ass on us?
Well, a time warp through time. What if it makes like a wormhole through
I'm
the
serious.
universe?
I don't know what's going to happen. I'm incredibly nervous about this. I don't know what's going to happen.
So am I, because I don't want the roof of the radio station getting blown off. And
Well, here's the thing
I
is-
saw Weird Science, man. I know what happens when you start putting bras on your
I
head.
don't know
and
if-
you start putting electrodes on missiles and crap like that. The next thing you know, you got an MX missile because you forgot the doll.
I
You
don't know
Oh
if
my
she's
God.
going to come that day and we're going to release it and catch it, or if she wants it to be out for a couple days and then she's going to come get it. I'm trying to work out the logistics because I would prefer like it shoots out of one box into another. That's ideal right there.
Yeah.
'Cause I
Retrap
don't
it
want that
immediately.
thing- Yeah. I don't want it around, but I'm
Right.
trying to get it worked out. Witches are weird.
Do we
Did you
have to
know that?
wear? Do we have to wear bras on our heads?
Dude, I'm telling you, you don't want to mess with this thing.
I know I don't. That's why I'm asking you these hard-hitting questions.
wanna mess with this thing.
That's why I'm putting on my journalistic hat
coming-
and asking you the hard-hitting questions.
I wear a St. Michael medal everywhere I go.
I know
It is
you
the
do.
Patron saint of taking care of security and popos, and I have that on, and I'm gonna have holy water in my pocket, and I'm gonna smudge the crap out of myself before I get there and after I leave there that day, and we're gonna set it free. If you love something, set it free.
I'm a little concerned about all.
If
of
it
this.
doesn't come back, it was never yours in the first place.
wow.
Oh God.
Yeah. So, but
I
here's
feel
the-
like Butters on South Park right now.
There's a
I
chance.
don't know, guys.
There's a chance.
I don't
There's a chance that it comes out and it really likes like Moto Man and it stays with him, and I'm fine with that. But there's a chance. I know where I'm very.
By the way, did you
uneasy
hear what
with
he
it.
just said? That I'm fine with
Yeah,
that.
Yeah,
he's
I
like-
am fine with
like
that.
no
if
big
it likes
deal.
Kyle, I'm fine with that.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah. If it likes me, I doesn't like me. I'm tell you right now, it remembers me. And
Well, you had 25 years of you and the
No.
demon being, best
About 9.
buddies. You
About
have 25 years. You see, here's the thing I've learned about Stretch.
It's
talking
around
to
me.
Stretch is like talking to a hooker. Okay, when you ask a hooker and you say, "How
I
many
charge you
people,
by the minute.
no, how many people have you slept with?" And she goes, maybe like 10. That's like 200.
That's 200.
Okay, that's 200. It's a clean
That's
200.
not a hooker. That's your ex-girlfriend. You ask your
Exactly.
ex-girlfriend, you're like, hey,
So-
how many guys you been with? A couple. You're like, a couple hundred?
Couple hundred. So
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
like we're talking to Stretch about time. When you say to Stretch, you go, so how long have you had this thing? I've had it like maybe 6 years. That means he's had it for 25.
9.
That means
No.
25 years. That means a quarter of a century.
It came from rehab.
That thing. See, that's my point. 25 years. It
I
stayed
was
with
only
him.
in rehab for 6 years, and it was at my second rehab job, and I was only there for
And
a few years.
It possessed
And then
the joint.
I've had it for 6 years since I left there.
I'm a little worried.
And
I'm
it's
just a
been
little
been in a-
concerned.
It's in
I'm
the box.
absolutely petrified.
You should be, because it's bonded to you to
I'll
some
give you a
extent.
smudge. I'm going to bring smudge. I'll smudge everyone. Everyone going to get a smudge.
I'm
It's
a
the
little
it's
worried
sage.
here.
You smudge with sage. I know how to do this stuff.
Now,
I'm
what about the
actually very into
wormhole?
it.
What about the wormhole? Because I've read
don't
in
know
all
about a
kinds
wormhole.
I've read in all kinds of texts that when you start playing around with spirits, you can open up a wormhole.
that's a Ouija board.
Into
Don't-
the
don't
whole
play with a Ouija board.
future, and it can get scary.
Oh, this is 10 times worse than any Ouija board. Here's the deal. If you play with a Ouija board, you have a chance of a bad spirit coming. We have a bad spirit in a box.
exactly.
We're 10 steps ahead of the
That's
Ouija
my
board.
point, and I don't
Yeah,
want the
no, no,
wormhole
no.
opening up, and I
There's-
don't want to have to deal with all that time warp. What if it sucks Kyle up, and then he's got to go out golfing with his old man, and he can't? What are we going to do with that?
And his eyes are red.
What? How do I explain that? What?
All right, that's not gonna happen.
All of a sudden, I get a phone call on the radio station. Oh, by the way, you possessed my son. No, your son was already possessed, but he kind of got bonded with his.
We just ramped it up a little
we
bit.
ramped it up a little bit, and he got a soulmate. I'm a little
Yeah.
concerned with that.
Yeah. Well,
What if it
I-
bonds to Jason, and all of a sudden his house is flooded with ducks?
They're already
ducks.
multiplying.
That's right. They're gonna poo everywhere. Jason's
I'm just
house.
His
thinking-
daughter likes him.
Well,
now.
Doc does like the ducks.
By the way, as much as I would like it to go home with Jason instead of me, Jason's got little kids, so I can't wish
Exactly.
that on anybody.
What
Yeah.
if it attaches to the radio station here, and all the plumbing explodes around here, and then the
Wouldn't be
electrical
the third
goes-
time.
Yeah, I
Wouldn't
know.
be the third time.
Wouldn't be the third or fourth
Yeah,
time. That's my point.
We've had bad mojo there before. Right? This is old hat to us.
I'm just saying. I'm trying to get rid of it all.
Yeah, well, I don't know what to say because I'm working this out, but it looks like it's going to have to be let go to be caught again because no witch wants to mess with another witch's thing because there's good witches, bad witches, and I don't know if I used a good witch before. She did a great job, but I don't know if she.
Now,
didn't
did she give
speak
you the money
English.
back guarantee?
No, she only spoke Spanish, and then she died.
Did you get her on witches.com?
No, she's dead. She's dead.
Did you pay her $19.95?
All right, here's some bad news. I have to leave. I have to go.
Okay. All right.
You guys are going to be
What?
stuck with a demon in the studio with you right now, and
Oh,
you
lovely.
can wrap up this lovely the Moto show.
So we'll have another LCR continued, I guess, for
Yes.
another hour.
It's LCR continued. I mean,
Yeah, I got to go to a party now.
Oh, nice.
you do what
Yeah.
you need to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going. My
Jason's
wife,
not here. Stretch is leaving. This demon's
yeah,
here somewhere.
my
Moto.
wife is not happy with me, but she's never happy with
your
me.
wife
but-
is never happy with you.
Oh my God, she's more annoyed.
Are
with
you
the
wearing
kid today?
Are you wearing the stained
ripping and-
shirt with the chicken stains on the front of it?
Oh no, I'm wearing a big 49 shirt.
Oh,
I'm not dressing up.
You
I'm
can't
wearing
even see the stains on the big 49 shirt because those are
I'm wearing
black.
a Barsha hat and a 49 shirt. I don't care. I'm not
Oh,
dressing up.
Nice. Okay.
yeah.
I didn't know if she made you go to wear a suit today or not.
No, God, no. But she's more mad at the kid than me, so I'm getting a break, even though I have to listen to wah, 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 Charlie Brown's mom all day.
Hey, speaking of big 49 shirts, Andy found his buddy found dude wearing one at the Drags in Pomona yesterday.
Nice.
I think it was Pomona.
Get
Nice.
your drags on.
Yeah,
Nice.
it's cool.
By the way, I have an account where we could sell those if we want to.
Really?
Where they'll print them and sell them for you, but basically they make the money. You get like $3 a shirt or whatever you want to charge over and beyond.
Oh,
I have
wow.
it set up, and we can put it on the website and start selling 49 shirts if we want to do it.
We should sell some.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'll send you the link. We can just attach it to the thing and set it up, and we just load up our shirts, and they'll print them by order, by the way.
Oh wow.
So you can buy one, they'll print it, sell it, and, it goes out.
Sweet.
Yeah. Anyway, so
All
we can
right,
get
there,
that
party
rolling.
people.
Interesting.
Coolio, time
We-
to go.
we are
Watch out for
done.
the demon.
Adios, amigos.
All right.
It's
so
a big-
are you guys hanging it up too? You're afraid of the demon without me there?
Always. It's a big 49.
You know why? Because you guys don't know the Bible like I do.
Oh, you are the demon.
You are the demon. I'm gonna hit an ID and then jump into some music here. It's a big
Goodbye.
49. Cool.
Broadcasting in digital HD streams to Los Angeles, Orange County, the IE, San Diego.